Everyone, welcome to Newcastle Fans TV, live on YouTube, live on Twitch. I hope it's all Dean Arit. Welcome to another Bullsh transfer rumour where we'll go through some of the gossip today. And please interact. You'll see the live chat come underneath just me here. And if you are new, drop us a like if you do enjoy some of this content as we are live and getting value from it. And also, if you want to become a member, it's 99 pence to see the exclusives. Sam's done another one today. So, yes, we're going to talk through. You can see on your live chat. Evening, Lawrence, hope you're doing all right. Yeah, glad the sound is working now. Andrew, hello. Yes, I had sound issues before. I forgot to put me on wire in the lead. Been doing this for 8 years, sometimes you forget. So, hello, Callum, hope you're doing all right. So, I want to start with the man on your screen, which you can see underneath the NFTV badge there, Lloyd Kelly, because Fabrizio Romano has almost practically said, here we go. In terms of that, this deal is now, he's verbally agreed terms, he's happy with the wage, the add-ons and what have you. I believe he's still away at the minute, as talked upon it yesterday. However, does this have any legs in it? I think this, as I said this yesterday, I think this has probably got more traction. I think this is going to be announced fairly shortly. So I think Fabrizio Romano actually has this one. I think he does. I think it's going to happen. And I like the fact that, I mean, he gets criticism for Romano, but what he does do, he puts his neck on the line. Of course, he gets a lot of wrong, but he gets a lot more right than others as well. So we talked about it yesterday. How do you feel about it? Are you happy about it? For me, I think he's a squad player. The only concern about him is that he's got injuries. That's my only concern. And he's a similar type of player of Dan Burn, where he's filled in at left back, but also as a left-sided centre back. For me, next season, if the game starts, if next season was tomorrow, it'll be Shea and Burn, and Kelly will go on the bench. I think that's what it will be. I think he'll be back up, but I still think he'll play quite a few games when it is announced. Because let's face it, Lascelles and Botman is out until, December or something like that. So I think it will happen. I'm not, blown away by the signing when it does get announced, but I think that is very close. I think it does have legs. James has gone out and said he's happy with it. It's not going to cost us a transfer fee, which is, that's going to happen. And it's probably going to get announced July 1st, because that'll coincide with the new 3-year rolling PSR/FFP as well. So hopefully Eddie can coach him to be a useful squad player. We do seem to just be Bournemouth's feeder club at the minute. We just buy all their coaching staff, all their players, a bit similar to what Liverpool were doing with Southampton a few years ago, when we're just every season or every 2 seasons they're buying 1 or 2 players, and it just become ridiculous, didn't it? But look, I've talked about it before. I'm not going to go on about it, but I think it will happen. I think that's almost there. It's probably 80% done now. It's just a case of his medical, which I'm assuming he'll pass, and he needs to probably live in the whole Hilton Hotel, as they all do, on the Gateshead Riverbank for a few weeks until he finds his own place. But I think that will happen. Now I want to get on to a little bit of speculation. Moving on with Romano, we are going to stay with him. Miggy Almiron, we'll come to that in a minute. Lee, how do you think we'll get on? Will we sign this window? I think Lloyd Kelly will happen. I still think we need a right winger. I've said that numerous times. Nico Williams, my choice, but different people have different opinions as well. Surely that's, given that as a free transfer, they don't have to worry about signing it off until the 1st of July. Surely it could be out earlier. Potentially, I think officially they can announce it, but it won't go... No, sorry, they'll announce it, but officially it won't go through the 1st of July, if that makes sense. They can announce it, then he's coming, if that makes sense. But I want to talk about Miguel Almiron, and again, I think Romano, has got this spot on, and I don't think it takes a genius to put it together that Miguel Almiron, the club, were willing to shift him out in January, so it's not a genius statement, don't get me wrong, because I think we will sell him this summer. I think it needs to be. How long has he got left? Is it 1 year, 2 year left? You can't have long. And obviously, we'll talk about this briefly over the last few weeks. I think Murphy has less sell-on value, despite him being English, than Miggy Almiron. I just think that Miggy's got a bigger profile than what Jacob Murphy has. Miggy's well known. Obviously, he's playing with the likes of Paraguay, and he's playing also with the likes of the Premier League stars. You're probably going to move to Serie A. I think Serie A is probably a fantastic move from, to be honest with you. And need a new mic. Sorry, Jim. Says Lidus. Need a new mic. What mean? I need a new mic. The Pollards. Sorry if I haven't pronounced that. The Pollards TD. A City fan here. Would you guys take Nunes in the deal? Then no. If we were to buy Bruno, nah, I wouldn't take it. If you're gonna buy Bruno, want the whole 100 million upfront. Thank you very much. If he does go, but I don't want any replacements like Nunes. I think we've got to look elsewhere. I wouldn't want a part deal. I think we've got to have the full money to help us go on. Didn't Almiron do well in a 4-0 win over Palace coming off the bench? Good squad player, but I think the club are putting feelers out there that he's heading out the door, and I think it's his time's right. I think it's time to move him on. I think it is. I think we need a right winger and get a little bit of money off him. I mean, how much would you take for Almiron realistically? What's he, 29, hitting towards 30? 15 million if you can, 10 to 15 million. I think that's probably about right, to be honest with you. Not for me. He's not a player that I rate, unfortunately. I know he had his purple patch, don't get me wrong, but not for me. Really, not for me. Like, I just didn't think he's cut out for it in the Premier League anymore. Sorry, but let us know if you disagree with me. I don't think there's got to be many. I want to come on to this one. The Daily Record have said that Martin Dubravka is being looked at by Celtic. Obviously, Joe Hart has retired. Martin Dubravka is obviously looking to potentially get a move. A lot of people are saying this, and hence the reason why we're continuously linked to James Trafford. So it makes sense if that was to happen, but whether it's Celtic or whether he wants another move, don't get me wrong, he'll be a fantastic way to end his career and have 2 or 3 years up at Scotland. But for me, I think he's holding out for one of the bigger leagues. It's a rumour. It makes sense with Celtic, but for me, I don't think this is happening. I get it. The Record have put 2 and 2 together, but I don't think they've got 4. I think Dubravka will hold out for a better league, and not so much a big team in the Bundesliga, Serie A, La Liga, but I think he will hold out for one of the bigger leagues to stay in contention with being Slovakia's number 1. Going to Celtic, yes, he'll play every game, but is he getting tested? I think Dubravka is a little bit better than the SPL. Personally, for me, I think he can do a job in one of the Bundesliga, Serie A, and so on and so on. Fraser deal to Southampton looks on. Yeah, we will talk about that when it comes a little bit more in talk, Sean. But the Ryan Fraser one, that's going to happen. I think it will happen. It looks promising. And do you know what it is? Even if we can just get him off the wage bill, I don't think we'll get much for Fraser, to be honest with you. I just didn't say I don't see it. I don't think we'll get much for Jamal Lewis either. I think if we can cut ties and get some small fees and get the wages off, that's going to help us massively. 100% it will be. Dubravka has the Euros to impress for other clubs to be tempted. Great shout, Lawrence. He is. He played the other night, didn't he, in the friendly for Slovakia? I think he kept a clean sheet, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Everyone like, share, subscribe to the channel, says Jessica. Thank you very much for that. But yeah, the link, I can get it with Celtic. I can get it. But for me, it's not happening. I don't think it's going to get into Celtic. I think it's just makes sense for the Daily Record being Scottish to get Celtic fans clicking on the article and obviously ad revenue and what have you for the newspaper. But for me, it is not going to happen. We're going to stay with the theme with goalkeepers. Roll on the next transition. We're going to stay with him now. Momod Davashvili. Have I said that right? I probably haven't. I can say Georgie. He's again been not so much linked today, but it is linked with Newcastle. So, Super Deporte, if I've said that right, their local media outlet, have suggested that Valencia are asking for too much money, and the club have acknowledged this. So, if you're going to sign the Georgian, Nick Pope isn't going to hang about. Nick Pope will want to... See, for me, if you sign the Georgian, Dubravka stays, and Nick Pope will probably want to leave. Nick Pope will not want to be second choice. He's trying to get back into that England side. I think he will eventually if he has a run of games. I think he's a little bit unlucky with the injury and it's come right at the end of the season. But for 35 to 40 million for a goal, don't get me wrong, it's an upgrade, I feel. I think it will be a massive upgrade because he is sought after. He is one of Europe's best goalkeepers. But if he comes in for that kind of money, we have to sell Pope. For me, and Dubravka stays number 2, but Dubravka doesn't want to be number 2. I think he wants to play first team. He's 35. We've got Mark Gillespie, who's happy to sit around and do the third choice goalkeeper. But we are getting linked to every Tom, Dick and Harry who's in goal at the minute. James Trafford, Marvin Dvashvili. You've got Dubravka. Ramsdale was only a few weeks ago until he called Luke Edwards out. Apparently we have no money, but we're being linked to £35 million goalkeeper, says Callum. I called this out yesterday. I think it's a load of bollocks that we don't have any money to spend. Of course we do. It's just people clickbaiting. I've said this yesterday. News articles, man. The stereotypes are doing it. I wonder if he kicks siding every time he scores a goal. If you know. Yeah. Bolton, he scored against Bolton, didn't he? The last minute when he came on, Pistoni was trying to grab him back. Of course, you'll take him. But how much money do we really have? I honestly think that we've got about 100 million net spend, that is. And if we can sell one or two, great as well. Obviously, we've helped with some of the wages to get off the books. Obviously, everybody who's left recently, including Richie Dummett, Jeff Hendrick, Karius. There's a bit of chunks here that we can get Hayden off the book. Hayden's still got, 3? Is it 3 years? Fraser's got a year left, but that deal looks like it's happened. Lewis. I can get these wages off as well. That'll be absolutely fantastic. But for me, is he coming? No, not for me. I don't think Marma Davashvili, if I've said that right, I don't think he's coming at all. I think it looks like it's going to be James Trafford. We're not really talking about Trafford as much on this stream. We haven't got it linked, but I cannot see it. I can't see that happening. Going crackers, and it's an area of the pitch where I just don't feel that Newcastle are desperate to strengthen or need to strengthen. If that makes sense. There's other areas of the pitch for me. Like I think we need a centre back, even if Lloyd Kelly comes in. Probably think we need another one because you remember you've lost Dummett as well. And then I think you've got to have a right winger. I think that for me is number one priority. You look at a young striker or a striker to come in who's probably done his time and's got a couple of years left in the game, was happy to be third choice. But for me, as a right winger is priority for me. And all these goalkeepers getting linked left, right and centre, it's only because one of them wants to leave, and I think that's Dubravka. I said that yesterday. Going to next season with the 32-year-old Shane Byrne, Kelly and Kraft is scary, but I don't think that'll be the end of the transfers though. Jessica says, are we doing any live streams for the Euros? Possibly. For me personally, I'm not mad on England. I like England. I want England to do well. But in all honesty, I couldn't give a toss if they got out. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not like a die-hard England fan. I want them to do well and I'll cheer them on. But they get put out. It's like, oh, wait. I remember when we got beaten the final, I come straight on live. It's Newcastle's like your hardcore. But England's England. I'm not like obsessed. We might do one or two. There's other people on the channel who like England more than me. Don't get me wrong. And of course, I'm saying that going to be first of England game the other day, and it was all right at St James Park, but I just felt it was a bit flat, the atmosphere, and you could tell it was an England game. But you never know. I'm not like mad on England. It's up to the rest of the lads if they want to do it, if they want to do live streams and stuff. So we'll see. Now we have had a little bit of official news with an under-21 player. Dylan Stevenson's got himself a move. It's official. He's joined Dagenham. Now, people might snigger at that, but for him, that's a fantastic move. We know that he's played the friendlies against, Atlanta in the Celtic Cup. I seen him out in Saudi Arabia when I was in Riyadh when he scored, actually. Came off the bench and scored in that 5-0 win over their best team, allegedly, at that time. I seen him score there, so he hasn't had much of luck in. He scores goals for the under-21s. When he plays, he can play up front, he can play left, right, as a wing. And he went out on loan to South Shields last season, scored, 8 goals in 15 games, I want to say. And I think that's a great move for him. And I think you'll see probably a lot more of the under-21s who have been released recently start to find some clubs in the lower ends, because they've got to make careers of it. They've got to start making a career of themselves and make their way up. You've seen... you only got to look at the England squad, players that have been released down the years or started in non-league and come back up. You can talk about your strikers, you can talk about your centre-backs, and there's a load of them. So you never know. One or two might come back good, but best of luck to Dylan Stevenson. So he's been around for Newcastle for a good 7 or 8 years now. So obviously is he from Blythe? I'm sure he's from Blythe area. But yeah, good luck to the lad. Gareth Southgate, mediocre tactics get me right up. Gets the blood pumping every time we play sideways and backwards. I think the one thing that Southgate's probably done well, though, is galvanising, but the squad is a togetherness. I'm not a massive fan of Southgate, but I do like the fact that he has dropped, because he wouldn't do it for ages, likes of Henderson, Rashford, Maguire. I do like that. Even Grealish to some extent, because I don't think Grealish has had a great season, but tactically, there's questions to be asked for me about Southgate, and I actually think this will be his last summer. I said this last night, or the night before. I think this will be his last summer. He's even hinted today, I think this will be his last summer in England, wanting a new manager, and just hope it's not. Hope it's just not Eddie Howe. Stay away from Eddie Howe. I don't think Eddie Howe will take it, but I think it will be triggering at the heart a little bit. I do think, but I think he'll stay. Have you seen Jude Smith has signed for Carlisle? I didn't, Mason. No, I've missed that. So that's a great move for him. Great goalkeeper at under 21s. Went out and loaned to Scotland, didn't he? I thought he was impressive for the under 21s. So I was surprised we haven't kept him on. Do you think Dubravka will leave? Yes, I do. I do think that's on Twitch as well. Laggy Thatcher, very funny name. I like it. And well, last piece of news, and I'm going to put a tweet on, so I might cover my head this. You can see it. Oh, I might have to duck down on this as well. You can see the tweet from Luke Edwards. I wanted to show it because it's on a reply, so you can't really see it on his profile unless you look at the replies. He claims that Yankuba Minteh will go. So he will go. I disagree, and I hope he doesn't. I think he'll be at the very least, I think he'll be looked at in pre-season. I think Eddie Howe needs to have a good look at him, and then determine, even if Almiron and Murphy stay, I think he needs to at least look at him and say, is he better than what I've got? Give him a few pre-season games. So for me, sorry Luke, but not as of yet. I think he'll be looked at first, and then the decision will be made. So I don't think that's a correct statement as of yet. He's obviously talked about Almiron maybe and Trippier. I don't think Trippier will go. I don't know if any of you watched the overlap with him and Gary Neville the other day. He wants to play on, and he's happy to drop down the divisions when he's a lot older. I mean, he's 33 now. He wants to play as long as possible, and he doesn't mind dropping down. But no, but I think we've got to look at Minteh at least in pre-season, at the very least. If it helps, I think, is he any worse? Can he be any worse than our right wingers at the minute? Surely not. Because I'll ask the question back, can Murphy do what Minteh did at Feyenoord, scoring all them goals? Can Almiron? I don't know. So I think we've just got to look at Minteh at least pre-season. I don't think he goes. I think he could be a great raw talent off the bench because he's got blistering pace, skills galore. I'll switch that to this one so you can see me head a little bit. I think he's a talent that we could have. Someone like not a game changer, because I didn't want to call him that, but someone just lethal off the bench where you've got options. Kind of in the mould when, I'm going back a few years here, like 20 years ago, when Bobby used to always make a triple substitution. It'd always be, one of them would be Jermaine Janus, Lawala, and maybe a striker. I think Amiobi. Sometimes it'll be Hugo Viana. You would always, like, I get the Lawala vibes where he's raw. And I like that as well, where he can go past players, but obviously it's his end product. But I think with Minteh, I think he has to be looked at. I didn't want him to go. If you're going to sell a right winger, for me, it has to be Almiron. It has to be. Even if Minteh's worth 40 million, and you can only get half of that, or even 15 million of Almiron, get Almiron out. You've already got Minteh in the door. Do you know what I mean? You didn't need to go and strengthen, I don't feel, if you're keeping Minteh, because he's a squad player. Maybe you still need a right winger. Sorry, I'll rephrase that. I still think you need a right winger, and then you keep Minteh on the bench. If Murphy and Almiron stay, I think that might be a problem for Minteh. That's the issue, the only issue that I've got. If we kind of shift one of those two, and I think it has to be Almiron, I think Minteh won't get a look in, unless you want to look at him on the left-hand side, but then you've got Harvey Barnes. So that's not going to happen. But I think you've got to give Minteh a go, might save us some coin, exactly. if there's a stupid bid, don't get me wrong. If it's 40 million that it is ledge, you've got to. It'd be tempting. You've got to look at it, haven't you? You have to realistically, but you've also got to give the lad a chance. You have to. As one of my balls just dropped behind us. Wait, someone's going to clip that up, aren't they? But I think you've got to give him. You've got to give him a chance. So there you go. That is your rooms. I've watched him play live. He's a higher ceiling than Walawa. Yes, yes he is. But he's in the same kind of mould, unpredictable, hasn't he? Pace and burn and what have you. So that's where I'm getting at. If they sell Minteh, they can give us Chiesa. Yeah, he'd be a great sign. His dad was sensational as well, Enrico. But yeah, that is your wrap for the news. Try and get live tomorrow. If not, it'll be the next day, depending on my schedule and what have you. But yeah, there we go, everybody. What do you reckon of the rumours? If you're watching the rerun of this as well, drop in your comments. Or if you're just finishing up live, give us your 50 pence thoughts on it. Please do. But that's it. If you want, drop us a like. See you, everyone. Ta-da. Bye-bye.